Welcome to the Utah Street Banter Podcast.
Welcome, everybody, to another episode here on the Utah Street Banter Podcast. Like always, I'm Cody. With me is Elijah. How we doing, man?
Doing good. I'm doing good, just trying to get through the same old.
Yeah, I feel you.
Got a lot of schoolwork,
Yeah.
If you hear me cough once or twice or got a little scratchy throat, I am, battling a sickness right now, trying to get through that, but it's just that time of year. The ick.
Yeah, got the ick. That's crazy. So, I guess the good news is you were able to focus on your school and not have to watch all the World Series, you know?
Yeah, well, the good thing is that I just didn't have to worry about watching the Yankees win. They didn't do much of that in the World Series, thank God. I was lucky enough. I didn't watch as much of the World Series as I would have preferred, but I tuned in for the extra innings of the first game, so I got to see Freddie Freeman's home run and stuff like that. I saw some of the more important moments. The main two moments I remember from the first two games is I saw the Freeman home run, and then I saw Ohtani get hurt. And when that happened, I was like, well, that's it.
Yeah. It was crazy. I think the craziest part of the whole World Series for me was, the Freddie Freeman home run was pretty awesome. But when, Mookie Betts, who's, one of the nicest people ever, was, freaking out on that Yankee fan. And that was before I saw the replay. Yeah. And then after I saw the replay, I'm like, oh, okay, that's why he was freaking out. I get it now.
Yeah, a little deserved.
Yeah, it was crazy. Crazy. And then, people wanted them back in the stands because they were saying, or they were just fighting for their home field. I was like, no, that's crazy. Yeah, if that was the NBA, they would never be allowed inside a basketball court again.
Not. Yeah. Just think of it this way: if that was a Dodgers fan in Yankee Stadium,
oh my gosh,
they would be banned from Yankee Stadium for life.
Yeah.
They'd try to find out a way to how to ban them from the state of New York.
Yeah. So, but just crazy.
The Yankee stuff doesn't end there. I don't know if you've seen the Garrett Cole stuff that happening. He opted out of his deal, which was a surprise to pretty much everyone. Yeah. And then today, he just decided, I don't really care anymore. And he redid the same contract.
Yeah, very, very weird.
Same exact contract.
Yeah.
So it's a little interesting. I'm sure he just wants as much money as he can get. And he says, well, if you guys are going to try to pay $700 million to Juan Soto, why can't I get a little bit more?
Right. Yeah, and speaking of the surprises, we had some Orioles news, right, come down. And one of those not surprising to me. The other one's very surprising. The Orioles declined Eloy Jimenez club option, and they also declined Danny Coulombe's. That's pretty shocking.
Eloy Jimenez is definitely not a shock. I know we said this last time. I think pretty much every Orioles fan knew that was going to happen, but I still can't wrap my head around the Danny Coulombe one. I don't know why that happened. I don't know what Elias is thinking. Unless Danny Coulombe and the Orioles have come together and they're like, okay, we're just going to decline this and we're going to offer you a contract when free agency starts. Right. I don't know if that's the plan. I'm not really. It's very strange.
Yeah. I don't know. Unless I can't imagine you get them much cheaper. Because how much was it? Do you remember? It was $7.
It wasn't much.
Yeah, it wasn't much. Yeah, but
I don't even think it was that. I think it was 2 or 3.
Yeah. And then they did pick up O'Hearn, Sir Anthony, and Sanel Perez's option. I was a little surprised by O'Hearn's, but I guess, obviously that just gives them depth and somebody they don't really have to worry about losing. You know what I mean? So, and then obviously they did what every club does is they offered Anthony Santander and Corbin Burns the qualifying offer that obviously they'll decline, and which will then give us a draft pick for if somebody else signs them. So and then obviously if you want to talk about, we got some some coaching changes, right?
Yeah. So Chris Holt was the director of pitching last season. Now he's left. Forrest Herman is now taking his role. Never heard of him before, but he can
run really fast. He's really fast.
Yeah. Run, Forrest, run. Forrest. Actually, you guys can't see, but right in front of me, staring at my wall, I have a Forrest Gump, the movie poster on my wall.
Do you really? That's funny.
I do. Yeah, I love that movie. But he was with the Mariners, Reds. He's been with the Orioles for a little bit. Minor league pitching coach. He was recently promoted less than a year ago to minor league pitching coordinator, and now it's just the other step up. I could not tell you what a pitching director does.
Great.
I don't know. It seems like one of those titles that they just slap random words together and just it makes sense.
Yeah, right.
I'm sure he has an important job, I'm sure.
Yeah, I do hate. I don't know what he did, but I do hate to lose anybody on the pitching side because I thought all our pitching
Yeah.
coaches and everything on our pitching side last year did amazing for
all,
what we had to deal with.
I mean, unless Chris Holt was the one that was telling them just to throw 5 million pitches and warm-ups and stuff, and that's
Yeah,
the
and
reason they tore their UCL. Like,
right.
unless that was the reason, I don't know why,
Right.
really. Hitting coaches getting let go, that makes sense. But
Yeah.
But we have an interesting topic today, Cody, to talk about.
Oh, let's
And
do it.
We're going to dive into some stadiums.
Yeah, so one thing that I have been wanting to talk to you about, especially during the off season, was how many stadiums have you been to?
So I've been to 26 of
26.
the 30 major league stadiums.
And what's pretty awesome is on all those 26, you've seen the Orioles play.
All but one.
Okay.
25 of the 26 I've seen the Orioles play. I saw the Red Sox play at Fenway when I think it was 2013, maybe.
Okay.
Something like that. I believe 2013, a long time ago. I think it was the Rangers they played. That's the only team that I haven't been there to see the Orioles play.
Gotcha. Well, I have a ticket here, Elijah, before I get you into this, I have a ticket I'm pulling up because it's not a fun ticket. It's a paper ticket. You can't see the back, right? You can't see that. Okay.
No.
All right. So I got a ticket right there. I'll try to flash it. That me and you went to this game. Okay.
Okay.
All right. I'm going to tell you the game and everything because I have a player that I want you to try to guess who.
Okay.
So in this game that me and you went to, the Orioles played the Tampa Bay Rays. Okay. I know. It was on Sunday, June 29th, 2014. Okay. So obviously that means it was definitely probably Dugout Club.
Oh, yeah. For those of you that aren't aware, my family, we were a member of the Dugout Club for many, many years, went to plenty of games.
Yeah.
Because of it. That's why half my Orioles merch is probably from that.
Right. Okay. So like I said, the Orioles played the Rays. I wish I knew what happened in this game, but I don't have it. But not that matters at all. So here's my question to you. This is when I'm going to show you the back of it. Right? Yeah. This is when I still used to
get your programs.
collect my programs. Okay. I used to get one every time you'd walk in.
Okay.
There used to be a guy on the stand. Who is on this front of this program?
Is it
I will
one
give
player?
you a hint. It's one player.
Okay.
And my on my program, he is sitting down in front of a turtle, which a turtle means the batting cage that you hit inside. And it says Birdland's Batman. Who is it?
So you said 2014.
2014.
Birdland's Batman.
Yeah, my second
Batman.
edition.
Second edition. So Batman. So I'm sure that has to do with something. He's obviously a hitter, I'll say.
He is a hitter.
I'm assuming he's not a position player or a pitcher. I mean, I'm just trying to think of all the.
You're partially correct with the second option too. If you want me to help you.
So he's pitched before.
No. I didn't say that.
Oh, he's a position player.
No, you said he's probably a position player, and I said no, not technically.
Is it Nelson Cruz?
It is Nelson Cruz, dude. Good job.
You said he's not a position player.
I know.
I was trying to think DH. Yeah. I was thinking. I thought there was going to be some play on words with their names.
Good job.
I completely skipped over the trivia, the part where we do trivia in our program we went down. So I'll just go ahead and before we get to the rest of the stadiums, I'll get to my trivia because I'm actually really interested in this trivia.
All right.
This one I don't think you're going to get. I'll give you multiple.
If anybody can go and listen to our last podcast, which was 2 weeks ago, I absolutely demolished everything Elijah tried to throw at me.
Yeah.
I mean, crushed it. So this is probably going to be a walk in the park.
Probably not. So of in the Orioles history, dating all the way back to when they were the St. Louis Browns, there have been 6 players, right? I will say these were all Baltimore Orioles players. The oldest one we are very familiar with still. There have been 6 players that have had multiple 30 home run seasons.
Okay.
Or 3 30 home run seasons. 2 of these players have 3. 3 of them have 4, and 1 has 5. Right? 30 home run seasons. I'll let you pick. Do you want to pick the one who has 5, or do you want to pick the most recent one?
Okay. 30 home run seasons.
Yes.
Okay. There's a player that has 5 30 home run seasons?
Yes.
God's sakes. Okay. Man, I'm going to feel so stupid if I don't get this.
Yeah, you could, honestly, if I let you just think of players, you could probably get this whole list.
All right, let's go. Chris Davis.
He does not have 5, no.
No, they have, okay, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
I thought you were going to say, yeah, Chris Davis is on this list.
Okay,
he has 4.
Okay, Chris Davis. Am I picking anybody that just did it one time or no?
No, they had to do it 3 seasons
Okay,
of
I'm
30
sorry.
home runs.
Sorry.
So they've been on.
I was
all
trying to
these
think while
players-
you're asking a question.
Yeah, Chris Davis is the second most recent one,
Okay.
and then everyone else is in the 1900s. Well, it's because it's a long span of 1900s.
I got you. Eddie Murray.
Eddie Murray's the one that has 5.
God, okay.
So there's 4 more.
Eddie Murray. Brady Anderson.
No.
No, I didn't.
Okay,
think
so I'll help you out. So one's a current third baseman in the MLB.
Hey, so Manny Machado.
Yes.
Okay.
And then the other one, what broke history, MVP in the American League and National League.
Can you say it one more time?
He was the MVP in the AL and the NL.
Yeah.
First person to ever do this. Played for the Reds.
Why is my mind?
Frank Robinson.
Oh my God, Frank Robinson. Yes.
Yeah, and then
in my mind, I know I said Eddie Murray, but in my mind, I said Frank Robinson because I was like, sorry, go ahead.
Well, and then I'll just give you the other 2. The
Yeah.
other one was Rafael Palmeiro.
I was going to say him, but
and then Boog Powell.
Okay.
Yeah,
I wasn't going to say Boog Powell, but it's obvious when you say it.
Yeah.
But Rafael Palmeiro was on my list. I just didn't know if he had enough for.
Yeah.
But
well,
man,
when you do
he's one of my
steroids,
favorite
you can hit
players.
as many home runs as you want.
Yeah.
Look, back to the stadiums.
All right, back to our stadium. So you've been to 26 out of 30.
Yes.
You haven't been to Oakland, the Oakland Coliseum, which you never will be.
Yeah. Never. Yeah.
Yeah. You've never been to the Giants, Oracle Park, Wrigley. That one sucks because we had tickets.
Yep.
Like COVID.
Good old COVID.
Right? Yeah. We had tickets there, and you've never been to Kauffman, which is the Royals.
Yeah.
Right. All right. So give me let's talk about your top 5. All right. We'll just talk about one at a time, and I'll throw some facts out.
Yeah.
I know you've been there, but so what would you say is your 5th one?
Yeah, and before I do get into them, I do just want to make sure everyone is aware that most of these stadiums I went to between the ages of 10 and 15. So just take in mind that when I'm thinking of this, like my first one, I went to in like 2017. I have a specific memory with this game just for the reason I'll get into it. But I want everyone to remember that I'm not looking at me right now. If I went to these stadiums, might rank them differently. That's just how I was.
Right.
So the first one, I have PNC Park.
Yeah, I love PNC Park. I've been there also.
Yeah, it's a beautiful stadium. The game was great. I remember it was the memory I was talking about. The last time I ever got to see JJ Hardy play.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was. I think when I went, me and my family went, it was like September-ish, like August, September, and it was the last year that he was an Oriole.
Wow, that's
Yeah,
crazy.
I do remember that.
Yeah, we actually took a tour there, and got to walk and feel and go. That's the craziest. So we went to their press box, and it's at the very top, and behind home plate, and that's the highest I've ever been in any stadium before. It was crazy. Yeah. Do you know what year that they broke ground to build that stadium? It's pretty crazy.
I'm trying to think because I know they had Three Rivers Stadium before.
Yep.
1980.
No, 1997.
Okay, I didn't realize it was that new.
Yeah. It's one of the most beautiful stadiums. If in my opinion, if you go there, I don't know where you sat, Elijah, but you need to be like between the 2 dugouts because
I think we were behind the third base dugout or first base dugout.
Perfect.
One of the 2.
When we were there, Josh Bell hit a walk-off home run, and they stinking the entire lights, even the city lights, everything went crazy. Pretty awesome.
Yeah,
pretty awesome.
It's a beautiful stadium, beautiful city. Honestly, I feel like
I love Pittsburgh
City.
Absolutely.
But moving on to my second option, this is another one. I feel like this one's not thought of when you're thinking of best stadiums and stuff.
Yeah,
but I really enjoyed it. Food definitely plays a big factor into this one. But it's Petco Stadium.
Oh yeah.
Petco Park, home of the San Diego Padres.
Yeah, I always hear it's gorgeous.
Yeah, it's really beautiful. They had I forget what the price was, but it was like $1.50 taco night or something like that when we were there. So ate a lot of tacos. They have the warehouse there, obviously.
That's pretty cool.
So that's another beautiful one. I think it really helps when you're in a beautiful area. Southern California just kind of has that benefit. The weather's always great. It's going to be 75 degrees no matter what. I enjoyed that stadium too, and I have a Padres jersey. I like their jerseys. That also helps me decide stuff like this.
Yeah. So, quick question about Petco Park. Okay. I'll give you a trivia question, even though we already did it. But Petco Park was the site of the first World Baseball Classic Championship.
Yep.
What year?
What year? So it was the first World Baseball Championship. Okay, so let's see. It was 2017, I believe, or 2016 was when you had Adam Jones, Rob, Manny Machado. I'm assuming it had to be. Oh, we'll go 2012.
2006.
Okay.
2006. Yeah.
I'm gonna be honest. I don't have enough World Baseball Classic knowledge to know when that started.
Yeah, I mean, I remember one of my favorite years is when on the World Baseball Classic was when like Derek Jeter and everybody was on it. That was pretty crazy. Yeah. But yeah, moving on. What we got next?
So next one, I debated putting on my jersey for this one because I love this jersey that I own. It's one of my favorite baseball players of all time. Played for this team. It's Coors Field. But yeah, so Coors Field, it's beautiful. My favorite player, one of my favorite players of all time, Charlie Blackmon. He plays there. I have a City Connect Rockies jersey of his, and it's a really beautiful stadium. If you go up to the upper deck and you can find the row of seats that are exactly a mile high, they're painted. I forget. I think it's green or something like that, or purple maybe. That you can see the Rockies from up there, and you're exactly a mile high. It's a really beautiful stadium. It's the only stadium out of all 26 I've been to, other than Camden Yards, I've been to more than once. And now here's a little interesting fact. I'll make you guess. Okay. So the first time I went, could not tell you how that happened. We saw the Orioles play them. Second time though, I saw the Reds play the Rockies because we were waiting for a flight in Denver one day, and we were like, you know what? Me and my dad decided to go to a Rockies game. And now a pitcher for the Reds threw against the Rockies that I was excited about because the game before that he pitched, he threw a no-hitter. Who am I talking about?
Johnny Cueto?
Wade Miley.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it was right. He did not do good.
No.
Yeah, I think it's another beautiful stadium. A lot of good food there. It's really cool to think that out of all the stadiums I've been to two more than once, and it's Camden Yards, which I live 2 hours away from, and then Coors Field.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I live 2 hours away from Nationals Park, and I've been there once.
Right. When was the first official game at Coors Field ever?
1997.
Nope. One more chance.
2001.
No. 1995.
95. I was trying to remember when the Rockies became a team.
Yeah, the Rockies beat the New York Mets 11-9.
Wow.
That's crazy.
But that's another beautiful one. I think pretty much any of these, they all have their different unique things about them, and everyone should, if you get the chance, definitely take it to go to these stadiums. Even if you see your team or not, they all have their own special things, and that's why I'm really grateful for the opportunity that I had with my parents that they took me to all of these. But there's a reason that out of the 26 I've seen, there's still 4 left, and I think once I started high school, I maybe only had like 3 or 4 more.
Yeah,
it's as I got older, it got harder to do it. Everybody had more stuff going on. But moving on to number 4. This one, I was looking through and trying to think of all the stadiums, and this was a last-minute ad that I didn't think was going to make it. But looking back is a really interesting one. It's progressive.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, the Guardian Stadium.
Right. Is it massive scoreboard in left field?
Massive scoreboard. Absolutely massive scoreboard, yeah. I remember I still have it. It's sitting in my parents' desk at home. It's a little, they had this whole kids club that you could go in, and I have a baseball card of me and my sister.
Really?
You can print out baseball cards. Yeah.
Oh, that's
pretty cool.
Yeah.
It was definitely a cool stadium, cool atmosphere from what I remember. Cleveland's another kind of underrated city, I think, except for their football. But I remember when we went, it was actually in the height of LeBron being back on the Cavaliers. So I remember that the city was pretty big on sports, and it was around, I couldn't tell you the exact year, but I know it was around when they were pretty good still.
Mm-hmm.
And then for number 5, I have Minute Maid Park.
That looks like one of my favorite stadiums. I've never been there, but it looks amazing. Yeah,
it's pretty cool. You got the train with all the oranges in outfield. That's a pretty big scoreboard in there too. It's obviously it's just a cool design, kind of how it's built.
Right.
I just think it's awesome. I remember going in. That was, I think, the first indoor stadium I'd ever been to.
Yeah, I've never been to one.
Going to 95 degrees, humid Texas heat.
Yeah.
Walk-in air conditioning.
Yeah.
Beautiful. And then it rained. Didn't have to worry about the rain at all.
That's amazing.
I think domes are one of the best things that you can possibly have.
Oh, yeah.
I love them.
Yeah.
But there is an instance where domes maybe aren't the best, because I also made sure to add my least favorite stadium I've ever been to.
Okay.
And this one, I don't even know what to say. I think this is a predictable one. It's Tropicana Field.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's a rough one. Everything's kind of outdated, obviously, because of hurricanes. Now it's kind of been destroyed, which is very sad. No matter how much I dislike a stadium, it still sucks to see something like that happen, even to a community. But it's really outdated. The lighting was bad. Maybe it's also just the Orioles team that I went to see. Got to go see just Orioles star Matt Harvey pitch.
Did we win?
I have no clue. Probably not. That was when the Rays were really good.
Yeah.
And we had Matt Harvey pitching for us.
Yeah.
But
that's crazy. Yeah. So was it like dark in there? It looks dark on TV.
It is kind of dark. And they even have they have designs all the way at the back of the stadium and stuff. They have seats in weird places. It's just, I feel like when they built it, it probably looked nice, but then they're like, yeah, we'll just keep it like this for 20 some years.
Right. That's crazy. Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, I mean, because you've been to 26, and I mean, I've only been to, I've been to the old Braves. That was pretty cool because that was the old Olympic Stadium. So we took a tour of that stadium, and that was when Chipper Jones was there, John Smoltz was still there, Andrew Jones, Brian McCann was catching for them. He was like a rookie, I believe. I think he was a rookie that year. Freddie Freeman, I believe, was on that team. So you look back at that team, and you're like, oh, holy crap! Yeah. So that was pretty awesome. I've seen them a couple of times, so I might be getting some of my players combined. So I don't know if Andrew Jones was still on there. I'd tell you, talking about Andrew Jones, one of the craziest Andrew Jones stories I ever had was on, I believe it was Adam Jones' bronze statue giveaway night. Andrew Jones, almost charged the mound against the Orioles. Yeah, so he was playing for the Yankees for one season.
Yeah,
so that was pretty crazy.
That's interesting.
I've been to Nationals Park quite a few times. I'll tell you, Nationals Park is one of my least favorite.
Yeah,
it's not terrible. It's not ugly. It's not.
It's just
there's
bland.
Just nothing. There's just I don't know.
It looks like one of the fake stadiums that you can play in MLB The Show.
Yeah, it's just not much, right?
Yeah.
And then you've been to PNC. We've been to PNC. Yeah. Obviously, that's gorgeous.
Another one that we've both been to that we went to together that I didn't include, but it was definitely be top 8 or 7 is Busch, obviously.
The Cardinals is gorgeous.
Yeah.
Cardinals is gorgeous.
I remember, I always ask you this, and I don't remember if you always remember. Do you know the pitching matchup from that day?
Yeah, I do. Oh, man. The guy on the Cardinals had a crazy name. Oh, what was his name?
Packy Naughton.
Yeah.
Versus the Orioles ace Kyle Bradish.
Kyle Bradish, yeah.
It was his second career starter or something like that.
And I remember we were telling people hey, we don't have much.
Yeah.
And they were like, oh, you be careful. I mean, that year you're not going to be that bad. And then we beat them, and then we had a great run for the rest of the season. Yeah. And that was the beginning of what we're in now. Yeah, I mean, we didn't make the playoffs that year, but that was the beginning of the next year we did.
I saw the beginning of that season really when we turned it on, and I also saw the end because we saw then, and that's when everything started getting to go again. And then really the final nail in the coffin that said, yeah, we're definitely not making this postseason was we lost. We got swept in a doubleheader by the Blue Jays that I was at.
Yeah,
that was a depressing series to go to because first game we get beat pretty bad. Second game, I forget who was supposed to pitch, but whoever it was got scratched, and Keegan Aiken started.
I remember I saw Keegan Aiken start for the Bowie Bay Sox on the one time I've ever been there, and we went there because it's when the Orioles traded everybody away. We traded Machado. So I went to go see the guy that I can't remember his name anymore, that we traded Machado for.
Yusniel Diaz.
Yes, yeah, and it was the most disappointing. Aiken did terrible. Everybody did terrible. The stadium is awful. I mean, it's just a shame because the Orioles go from the Shorebirds. The Shorebirds team's not great, but it's okay, to the Bowie Bay Sox, who was just trash.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sorry if you guys. I'm sure we have people that go there all the time, but that stadium is so outdated. It's so outdated. It's just disappointing. And the Tide's nice. I like the Tides too.
Yeah.
But I tell you, probably the nicest of all of our minor league teams is the Ironbirds. You know, and yeah. So anyway, I thought it was pretty cool to just kind of hear, what your favorite stadiums were since you've been to so many.
Yeah.
So I guess my biggest question for you when I'm looking at these stadiums is, what of the top 5 stadiums, right? Which one did you have the best seats for?
Best seats. I'm gonna be honest. If you were to ask me just of the top 5, I could not tell you where I sat for most of
Really?
these.
Oh,
I
I
think that's
always
just.
know.
I think you also have to think. When I went to Progressive, I was probably 12,
Dude,
11.
well, I remember when I went to the Orioles game, my first time ever, I was like 7 or 8, and we got to go to a doubleheader.
Mhm.
And that was a big deal because it was a single ticket doubleheader. And the first game was in the daytime, obviously, and it was so hot, and we sat in left field. So hot. The second game was nighttime, and we were tucked under the first set of
Yeah.
bleachers in the shade on third base, and it was so cold. And I was just like, if that could have been the opposite, that
Yeah.
would have been so great. But yeah, I remember I got to see Cal Ripken play. That was the first time I ever got to see him play.
Yeah. Well, that's like most of these stadiums. I PNC. I don't remember really. I think it was third base or first base, one of the baselines. Petco, I don't remember. The one for some reason, and I know why it sticks in my head too, but I'll tell you, it's not a stadium I have down. It's kind of, I think, just like an average MLB stadium is. I don't even know what it's called anymore, but it's the Brewer Stadium because they just changed their name. But I remember we sat. That was back before they had nets all the way down the foul pole, where they just had the square net behind home plate. We were just outside of the netting, like just barely. So we were kind of pretty much behind home plate. And my mom almost died because Seth Smith hit a foul ball that struck the seat next to her. Right.
Oh
in
my
the back.
God.
Like would have called her right in the chest, but it was one seat next, like one or two seats next to her.
Shit, thank God.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy. I think the worst seats I ever had at any stadium was when the Yankees. When we went to the
That
Yankees,
was bad. Yeah.
and we sat in the bleacher seats in the outfield.
Yeah,
And
that was pretty bad.
It was the worst seats I've ever been in.
Yankee Stadium is another one I just didn't like. And I don't know if it's because I just don't like Yankees, but it just wasn't that great. It was kind of another bland one. It's a lot of concrete.
Yeah, but the Mets I thought was great. I like the Mets a lot.
The only problem with the Mets Stadium is that they're near an airport, so you have planes flying over constantly. It's loud.
Right. I was pretty impressed because we're from the Eastern Shore. When we went to the Mets, and somebody that worked there asked us if we brought any Scrapple with us. So that was pretty impressive. I was pretty.
Well, you didn't look like this, Cody. Speaking of Scrapple, I bought a wrap of Scrapple the other day that I'm going to cook for all my friends because most of them have never had Scrapple before. If you've never had Scrapple, you got to try it at least once.
Yeah, well, a little bit of syrup. Yep.
Nope.
You just roll in it.
Yeah. Scrapple egg and cheese sandwich or just Scrapple.
Yeah. I mean, you can do that. Yeah. So, okay. The other question I want to ask you: if there's anything that these other stadiums have that the Orioles don't have, what would you input to the Orioles stadiums?
Okay.
Just one thing.
Just one thing of just any stadium.
Of any of these, the top 5 stadiums that you have here, right? What's something that you would love to see implemented into the Orioles stadium? We're doing a whole bunch of upgrades, right?
Progressive's scoreboard.
Where are you going to put it though? Like,
put it in center field. There's room.
Yeah. Where'd that warehouse go? It's gone.
What? I was debating saying Petco's warehouse, and we'll just have one on each foul pole.
Yeah, right.
Well, no, yeah. That's, I think, the unique thing with Cammy Yards is that no one really has too many things that they hate about. And that's what PNC, I think it's just, there's no one thing that makes it so special. It's the collective. What am I supposed to say? Baltimore just needs a couple more rivers and throw a couple bridges in.
Yeah.
I definitely think a new scoreboard would be nice.
Oh my God. Like I don't need the framing to change. I just need it all to be digital.
Or that, yeah. Just something better.
Like, and then I also need a running LED electronic scoreboard around the whole stadium.
Around the whole stadium.
So we no longer need backlit sponsorship box lights.
Yeah.
It's
outdated.
I mean,
and the out of town scoreboard.
Where's that? What do you mean
the one in right field.
Oh yeah. I remember when that was just it was just a light bulb lit sign. I thought that was a big deal when that turned it to like an electronic billboard. So I mean I'm trying to think me too of like what I would change. But the biggest thing is that we don't have the other people have is definitely the scoreboard. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then if you're an Orioles fan and you went to an Orioles game this year or last year, just being able to hear things like
that'd be nice.
Like speakers would be great.
When you can't hear the national anthem being sung or anything.
Yeah, nothing. Basically,
and every game it gets worse.
It's just like if you're watching this podcast and you have not been to an Orioles game in a while, you think we're over exaggerating. But when you hear the crowd cheer for somebody like, sometimes they'll show like when Gunnar Henderson won Player of the Month or Player of the Week, whatever. you'll see them walk out, and you hear the crowd cheering. It's not because we can hear them. It's just you see them. So you're like, all right, well, I guess we'll cheer for them. We don't really know what we're cheering for because you see them have some trophy, and you're trying to figure it out.
There is another thing I just looked up that I'd love to have a little bit cheaper. So how about this? A stadium I have been to that wasn't really too special because they took away the best part of it is Marlins Stadium in Depot. Took away the Marlins swimming in the outfield. That was the coolest thing ever.
Are you talking about the statue? Is that what you're talking about?
Remember when they hit a home run, the Marlins would swim across that giant thing? So
it's outside the stadium now.
Yeah. How about this? Who do you think has the most expensive hot dog in MLB?
The Dodgers.
Camden Yards, $8.25 for the most expensive hot dog that you can buy. Whereas the Marlins have a $3 hot dog.
Really? Do you remember? I don't think the Marlins also have the fish in the backstop like they used to.
They don't.
Remember they had that? They had like actual like aquariums.
Yeah. It's ridiculous.
Derek Jeter went there and just put it all the fun stuff. Just got rid of it.
Leave. And then made the worst trade ever for Starlin Castro.
Is that with Stanton?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that was Stanton.
I don't know. So another thing the Orioles, what I think would be really cool to have is, can we turn like one floor of the warehouse into a hotel?
That would be cool. Yeah, and it was the Stan trade.
It was. Yeah.
Wouldn't
that be sick?
All I'm saying is if they could just like rent out office space too for a little bit cheaper, wouldn't you guys love to see us having our podcast with 10 yards in the background and we're in our office in the warehouse? That's when we just go, hey, Mike, come on over. We need to ask you a question.
I mean, I get that the whole Mass and All Access guys kind of have their podcast thing, but I mean,
so who says they can have more than one?
I mean, here we are. We're we
can listen to both of us.
Yeah,
I won't. I don't care.
Yeah, I really don't. Yeah, you're right. Yeah. So anyway, I mean, I guess of your what 4 that you haven't been to, what's the next one you want to go to?
Well,
I guess
obviously
3, really.
One of the 4. Yeah, one of the 4 I never will be able to go to, which is
you can see them in Sacramento.
Yeah, I'm gonna go see the West Sacramento. Well, did you see they just officially changed today? They just put out their press release saying that's no longer they are the Athletics. It's not the Oakland Athletics anymore, which is
so
sad.
It's just the Athletics.
Yeah, it's just the Athletics. There's no other part of their name. Like, you know how it's like the Washington football team? It's the Athletics now.
Wow.
That's it. Which is a strange thing to say. So I can't go to the Coliseum, which kind of is sad because I did want to go there. It's kind of just like a neat thing to see.
Yeah.
You play football in here too?
Yeah. Yeah. Right. Right.
I'm between 2. I think it's Wrigley. I mean, it's a historic stadium.
Is your other one the Giants?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
Kaufman. There's nothing really that excites me too much about it. I don't know. It's just I think it just is the Royals. I hate them. Well, they beat us in the playoffs so many times. What am I supposed to do? Like, they're getting to the point where I'll refuse to say anything good about Bobby Witt Jr. again. I won't hate on him. I just won't say anything good about him.
Right. I lived like that for a long time with Eric Jeter.
But I mean, there's the reason that we don't go there is just because plane tickets to fly into Kansas City are expensive. It's Kansas City. Who wants to go there in the first place?
That's crazy.
But Wrigley, Chicago. I've been to the White Sox Stadium, and that's nothing special.
Yeah.
That was when they were still not completely garbage. But the Cubs would always be interesting to see. I don't think I've ever even seen the Cubs play, so it'd be interesting. Oracle Park, that's another one. I just kind of want to see the Bay. That's another cool scene, area.
I've seen the Cubs play once. They played at the old Phillies Stadium. And something pretty cool is the reason I went is because I was a huge Sammy Sosa fan. And so my parents got me tickets to go to the Cubs. And Jim Thome, Bobby Abreu was on the Phillies. I believe Scott Rowland was on that team too. And then on the Cubs was Sammy Sosa. And I mean, pretty fun. And, here's the best part about it. Okay, guys, the Cubs wore their all blue alternate road jerseys, which were gorgeous. And you know what I thought was weird was the Phillies back then. They would bring out a cart with away teams merchandise. So you wouldn't go into the store to buy it, but there'd be a cart like around.
Interesting.
And that I remember that. I mean, what a weird. I had never been to an Orioles Yankees game and saw Yankees merchandise.
No, that's definitely strange. I mean, I've been to other stadiums do sometimes sell their team's merch.
Yeah. And last thing is one thing I want the Orioles to change is our official store, because the best official store I've ever been in is the Washington Nationals. They have a couple of them. They have like 2 or 3 big official stores in their stadium, and there's so much room. And our regular one, the Orioles' big official store is the tightest worst place ever.
I mean, I wish they would go back to having the one out by the the courtyard thing that they have for the kids to play in. That's like maybe my dorm room's bigger.
Yeah, that was always the clearance one. Yeah. But
I miss those days.
Yeah. But anyway, cool, man. I'm glad you were able to let us know kind of different little things that you liked about those stadiums.
Yeah, and even if you don't want to go see major league teams, there's plenty of minor league teams that have great seasons. Like I went this past summer and saw the Nashville Sounds. Yeah, that's a great, beautiful stadium. It's probably one of the best minor league stadiums. It's easily the best I've ever been to, but it's probably one of the best ones out there.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially anytime you get to those AAA stadiums, man. Oh yeah, you're watching big league talent. And a lot of people that are just going up and downs from other majors. Just platooning. Or at the end of their careers, especially your like mid-level players that are like near, the end of their career, and they're just.
It's cool to see some rehab assignments.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, awesome. Well, thank you guys so much for joining us here on the Utah Street Banter for another episode. Remember, we're every other week until probably February, and we'll let you know if anything changes on that side of it. We can't wait because in a few weeks Elijah comes in. We'll be able to do a few in person. So that'll be great. And just like I said, we'll keep you updated on everything on all our socials. So please definitely follow us on Facebook. We're on X, and we're on Instagram. And obviously make sure you subscribe to us on YouTube, so that way you can get updated on any new episodes. And you can also listen to us on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. So until then, remember, you can reach out to us anytime. Let us know if you have any topics you want us to hit. We'll try to make sure we hit them. And we'll be good to go. What do you think, Elijah?
Yeah, absolutely.
Sounds good. All right, guys. Have a great rest of your week, and we'll see you next time.
See ya.